Hello, Sean. Have you heard of this kind of thing going on in other schools? Is this exceptional and unique, or is this something that actually lots of head teachers are busy doing?
Hello, Vanessa. I think this is pretty extreme. I mean, head teachers up and down the country are really, really worried that their kids are not back in school in the numbers that they were before the pandemic. And they are sending their staff to children's homes, in the morning to accompany them to school. They are making big efforts to get kids back into school, but I have not ever heard of anyone checking a family's bins or checking whether the lights were on. Or anything like that. And certainly not a head teacher posting on social media about the lengths that the school is going to try and figure out whether parents essentially have taken their children out of class for a cheap term time holiday.
I mean,
I thought the video was extraordinary.
some people watching and listening to this right now will be thinking, well, what a great idea. It's a fantastic deterrent. If you think that the head teacher is going to send a spy or some kind of underling, or maybe go himself at lunchtime to your house, your place of residence, and see whether you're there or not, whether there's post piling up, if you look through the letterbox, whether the bins have or haven't been put out or emptied, whether the lights are on or off, you might really think twice about slipping off to Disneyland in term time. I mean, maybe it's just the perfect deterrent. And this is a zealous, vigorous, conscientious head teacher who's absolutely determined not to have the wool pulled over his eyes. And one of the things that he says, this particular head, is that parents are pretending they're at the doctor's surgery and are even changing the numbers on their phones. They're going to those lengths to say, oh my goodness, so sorry, Alexander's just been diagnosed with, glandular fever, so he can't come in for the next 2 weeks of term. Sorry, goodbye. And he's not having it. He's just not going to put up with it, he's saying.
Well, I mean, listening to this, Vanessa, I just feel this is just, it's beyond the pale, really. We do have an attendance crisis after the pandemic. We've got 1.8 million children who are regularly now missing school, missing either a morning or an afternoon every single week. We've got 100,000 children who are missing from school completely. They've just been taken off the books. So it's a big and serious problem, but I actually think, and lots of research shows, kids do best when parents and teachers work together, not when they're in conflict, not when they're at war, not when head teachers are going on social media posting about the extreme lengths that seem to be being taken to check up on kids. That is not going to persuade parents to bring their kids back to school, nor is fining them. And the government has just put fines up by another £20. So, for an unauthorised absence now, you can be fined £80, not £60. And that doubles if it's not paid within 21 days. And what parents are doing in response in too many cases is actually pulling their kids out of school completely. They're saying, OK, we'll homeschool. We're not going to be in constant battle with schools and with councils. We're not going to be fined. We're not going to be prosecuted. And we're certainly not going to have our bins snooped on. And I just think it's all got completely out of hand, and a bit of common sense is needed, and a bit of empathy and kind of communication and cooperation between parents and schools, because this social contract that gets kids into schools every day is at risk of breaking down in too many cases.
Sean, thank you very much indeed. Always a pleasure.